Yeah, so as I was saying, so making all your decisions, they want to make all your decisions, they want to do it for you, so you're not thinking freely for yourself. They've got an agenda, and the agenda is, as I've said before, is just have you subservient and making sure that you are just having that little bit of money and this little carrot that's dangling. But why would you want to live like that, where you are struggling? And it is a struggle from day to day. But you'll see all the nonsense that's been written now, that they're doing the best and they're doing the best interest for the country. No, they're not. They're doing everything for the best for them and anyone else that is in a higher echelons, in the higher positions of corporate global world structure. For these big 7, 8, 9 companies are actually running things. So we're just talking about banks and big business, basically. So anyone with big business, that is when the government are going to really look after you and sort yourself up. But if you're on the lower end of that, and I'm talking about the lower end, I'm talking about the people that are trying to figure out how they're going to do it from day to day, why on earth would you want to listen to these sort of people? And they're standing up and lying in front of your face, and when you see them on the news and you're shouting at the telly and saying, answer the question, answer the question, but they step around it and they never directly answer the question. They start mumbling and jabbering about something else that has nothing to do with what you've asked them. How many times have you seen it? So it's just a distraction for something else. They have got their agenda. If you want to shape the way that you think, if you want to shape the way that you think, just read a couple of the books about government policy, or just about, if you go back, how from the rich were always had the poor out in the fields, and that's where they'd keep them. You would just be working from as soon as sun up to sunset, to have no life, and that was it. But they made all the decisions even back then, and nothing's really changed apart from technology. But if you just read a couple of books, and you'll see, just one book, just read one book just about the history of Britain and the history of politics, economics. You read just one book of that, and you'll see exactly what sort of position that we're in, and we're still in, and things haven't changed. Okay, we might have different clothes on, we might not have rags on, and run in the fields, be able to have a bath or a shower or whatever it is. But so they have got their agenda that they've already mapped out for you. Why would you have somebody else running your own life and your family's life, making all the decisions, while we sit down in front of a blue screen, the idiot box in the corner, or wherever you've got it on your wall or whatever, thinking, oh, I agree with what they're saying. But you've never thought about what they're saying, because you've heard it on BBC One, you've heard it on ITV, you've heard it on Sky, you've heard it on this, you've heard it on that, you've heard it on every other channel. It's the same thing. The same thing that they're saying. Nothing of any difference. So what you have to do for a better quality of life and a standard of living, if you want your peace of tranquility, you want your peace of tranquility, because I'm telling you something now, it's stress that kills the poor more than anything else. And it's always finance. And that's what it comes down to. It's finance, because that's where most of your arguments are going to come. That's where most of your disagreements are going to come. That's where most of your, oh God, what do I do? What do I do today? What do I do? How am I going to do this? This is when you're just walking around, and it's like sometimes you're walking around in a daze. It's because you've got other people trying to shape the way that you think, instead of you thinking for yourself and finding your little piece of tranquility. And I tell you what, the meaning of tranquility, that just comes down to calm, quiet, serenity, stillness. You have to be self-reliant. You have to be self-reliant. As I said before, it might take a little bit of time, but it's a better time than the time that you have in now. Help one to teach one to help one. That's why I'm here. I'm just like helping people to understand, just to be free-minded, be a little bit more conscious just about what's going on. Don't just take everything that you're hearing for gospel. Everything that you're hearing is for the truth. Because don't forget, when was the last time that you've seen one of them guys come knocking on your door? The only time they come knocking on your door is when it's come around to time to vote, and then they cart out all their little underlings. You don't see the top guys come round. They'll go out in big parades in front of media or anything else. But when was the last time you seen one come knocking on your door? Anybody in power, have you seen them come knocking on your door? Theresa May, was she come knocking on your door? Blair, was he knocking on your door? To actually talk to the people on ground level. These people ain't going to knock on your door. They send out the other people with their agenda who they've already brainwashed so that they can say, you know what, but we know how you feel. We know how you are. Well, you don't know how we feel. You don't know how we are because you've never been in that situation. You've never had to scrimp and save in that sort of thing. Oh, I need to rob from this to pay for this. But as I said, they just want us like sheep. They want us like cattle. And they're the shepherds holding that big crook, and they're just pulling you all over the place and directing you where to go from that pen to that pen. Don't matter if it's red or it's blue. Don't matter if you're Conservative or you're Labour. Because I'm telling you what, right? Because one's got one wing, one's got the other wing. But we're the ones who are at the head, and we're the ones who are getting our heads chopped off, putting on the chopping block. And they're still there flapping around, feeding you a narrative of, I am looking out for you. No, you're not looking out for none of us. You have to look out for yourself. And if you don't get it, you'll still be in the same situation next year and the year after. Trust me on that. You will be in the same situation if you don't start waking up and saying, you know what, time has to change. You watch TV tonight. Just flick across the channels just quickly and have a look and have a listen. But mainly just listen to what they're saying and how they're saying it. And then you make your opinion. Are you being brainwashed by them? Because if you're struggling from paycheck to paycheck, what is it you're going to do to help yourself get yourself out of that? Because you know what you have to do. As I've said before, you have to be self-reliant. You have to push yourself in the best way possible. Read up, get the help from the people. Get your help from your community, from people who are like-minded that actually want to make a change. I'm thinking about the poor. I'm thinking about the people like myself. I'm thinking about the man, the woman that are struggling to try and get themselves in a better position. But at every turn, it seems like they're taking 3 steps forward and 15 back. Feel like you're getting ahead, but then something happens. Why should that be the way? It can't be the way, can it? Just think. Just take a little look and think and see what's going on. It's hard out there, but it's harder listening to these guys feed you a lot of lies. And you know what? When you look at yourself in the mirror, you can't lie to yourself. You know what's going on, really. You know when you take a long, hard look at your bank balance. Because you ain't got money, what can you do? What can you really do without any money? And don't give me that nonsense about, oh, well, you know what? Oh, all you need is love. Yeah, you need love, but you need money too. You need money so that you can have the love of what you do. So that you can love, so you can travel. So you can love, so you can buy things. So you can love when you look into your kids' eyes and not crying with hunger. And they want the same as all the other kids out there. I'm not saying you've got to be materialistic, but what is wrong with your child or your children, the same as Theresa May's children, or Margaret Thatcher's children, or Blair's children, or Kinnock's, or anybody that was out there, or anybody that's in politics now? What is the difference between their children and your children? They don't go hungry. That's the difference. You never see them on the front line fighting either, do you? Do you see them on the front line fighting? No, it's our children that are out there catching the brunt of it and catching fire and catching hell. And we catch hell, and people try and get themselves out of a situation by going joining up and doing things, because they're feeding you into that. What can I do? What can I do to see the world? If you come back, you're lucky. You know what I'm talking about. Why should you have to struggle when their children aren't struggling? Your children are your heart. Excuse me. So all I can say is, people, do what you have to do to get yourself out of the situation that you're in, and you know that you're in it. Look at yourself in the mirror, as I've said before, and you'll understand why. We can help each other. Leave a comment below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Where there's got to be a thumb somewhere. Nowhere rude neither, but there's got to be a thumb somewhere. Because as I said, we can help each other to have a discussion about what do we do and how do we do it to get ourselves out of the mud. Because I tell you what, sometimes it feels like the mud ain't just around your ankles. Sometimes I bet it feels like it's up to your chest. Because you wait now, after Christmas, when you've bought all the presents and you've been dipping into money that really that you shouldn't have been throwing on there because you're struggling, right? Because you're struggling, and the bills start landing, it starts all the circle starts all over again for the new year. Is it really a new year? Is it going to be a good year? Make 2019 start, even start tomorrow, start today even, to put yourself in the right position for you and your family. So on that note, pulling out, see you guys tomorrow, but just think, just catch conscience, that's all. Just be conscious about what you're doing. Subscribe, inspirational post by LEVERSON. Peace, catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.